Yes, yes, yes. We're gonna take a time. We're gonna just take a second to vibe to this one. After 10 p.m. will be released on Apple Music, iTunes, August 10th. It's just about it's all mood music, all mood music. Vibe. I'm excited for this project because it's like it's a lot of more R&B-esque. If you just want Josh for the bars, this is not the project for you. This is Josh and his feelings all the way to 1,000. And like people don't know, like this project has actually been a couple years in the making, right? Like I've had some songs on there that it's like I've been trying to like craft this. Just the timing of it was never right, I guess, at the end of the day to put it out. But all of the songs have come together, and it's just like I feel very proud of this body of work. I'm sorry, we just had to start with that tone. I just wanted to explain that a little bit to y'all. We gonna get into the crazy good talks. It's just, I've been learning, man, this past week. Whew, man, I got some life, man, like not life-changing things, but just perspectives that have been gained, and it's just, I'm learning a lot. But we about to get into it. I'm in my feelings a little bit. This one I'm not even streaming on IG Live because I just kind of want to talk about what I've learned and what I'm learning. After 10 p.m. August 10th, Mood Music, all fall 18. Yeah, I let that rock right there, man. Anyhow, man, what's up? Yes. Let's switch this format real quick. So we gonna hop right back into it. Yeah. So this past week and change has been interesting, and look, y'all know from the beginning my whole criteria for this in this music and these talks have been to be as transparent as I can. Just living life. And I kind of use my life as a how do I say this? I use my life as a guide for others. So I find it very important to share the things that I go through and experience, especially from the vantage point of being Christian, because I guess oftentimes I feel like I didn't have that. I didn't have somebody to kind of look at and be like, oh, well, I'm not the only one going through that, or I'm not the only one struggling. And I don't think people realize how important that is. So that's always been a goal of mine. So at times I drag other people. I may drag other people into the conversation, or other people may be a part of the conversation in a sense of just because we interacted in real life, right? Because these talks, my music is only a reflection of my real life. So at times people come up within my conversations willingly or unwillingly, but I try to share the vantage point from my perspective. And I try not to harp too much. To the extent I'm willing to, I don't want to say expose somebody, but to the extent I'm willing to speak on somebody as far as my perspective and our interactions, I try to speak as candidly on myself because I know that the other person is not able to speak on their behalf, right? So I take what I do seriously in the sense of it's a privilege to be able to speak to y'all, to be able to share via the music. But I never would try to put somebody in a position where it's just like I can speak on them and they can't speak on me, right? And this sounds way deeper than it has to be, but I just wanted to preface that just because, like I said, just doing reflection within life, I've seen, I don't want my words to be misconstrued, nor do I want the fact that I speak on different things to be taken lightly. Right? It's all ha-has. It's all, to some people, it's entertainment. But at the end of the day, we've got to realize that it's still my life. Right? It's my life that I'm choosing to share with others. So that I can be of whatever service that it might have to be. So with saying that, it's just I've like I said, the within the last week and a half, it's just really gotten an epiphany. Right. Yeah. Last week and a half really got an epiphany. Being able to shout out the dude Kenny V for allowing me to perform at his show, and it was just a dope moment. It was a dope moment, and I realized that for as long as we've been on this path, it's been about 6 summers now, and that night, it just settled and it dawned on me like, wow, like we've been able to stay true to the cause of what we were trying to do as far as me and what I'm trying to execute. I've been graced by the grace of God, been able to stick to the format, stick to speaking on what I want to speak on, right? What I felt people needed to hear. Not falling for the, I don't want to say the trap, but not falling for the just trying to get ears for the sake of ears, just trying to get listens for the sake of listens, just not trying to get views for the sake of views. Right. I remember a very crucial moment and what I was doing in music came when I made the decision to drop. I knew Friend Zone. I didn't know Friend Zone would have the impact that it would have, but I knew it had to be created, right? And to be all the way honest with you, I didn't necessarily want to create it because who wants to be shedding that light of, like, you know what I mean? But I think that kind of defines my path and my journey that I've been on, because my thing was, forget about how it makes you look. You've got to tell the story. You've got to tell the story. And that's all I've been trying to do, especially the stories that people don't necessarily want to tell, just to position themselves as cool guy or whatever the case may be. Like, I never been afraid to speak on that. So that really, that was important. And then another important moment was the moment I chose to do the Getting Ready music video, if y'all have seen that. Because that song was a little bit more weightier where it was just like I was sharing my views and my beliefs, and it was easy to be like, let me find another catchy song to do a video for so that people would, so I don't isolate myself or I don't whatever. But like I said, I thank God for the grace to allow me to be able to to overcome those temptations of just wanting to try to fit in and executing on what it is I felt I needed to execute on, and dropping that video, right? Regardless of if the views was there or not. The views obviously was not, I don't want to say obviously, but the views weren't what Friend Zone was. The impact wasn't what Friend Zone was, but I feel like it still had, that part had to be said. I had to show that, right? Where You Are, another song, right? Where it was just like a message that I had to speak on. So, like I said, it's late. I've just been epiphanies of, Alexa, stop. Epiphanies of understanding like what we're doing here. And like I said, at the show, it kind of hit me, and I was just like, wow, like I said, we've been able to stay true to our message, to what we're trying to execute on, to the depicting the lifestyle, the Christian lifestyle, and not shying away from that, and telling the taboo stories that may be taboo to others, but like what I feel, executing on what I feel is important to speak on, right? Also in that moment, it was just like, it's crazy how you have different I feel like in the back of your head subconsciously you have different things that you want to happen, and you don't know you want it to happen. Like, it's not that conscious. You don't know it, but when it happens, you're like, wow, I really wanted that to happen. Right? So I was in a place where I'm be honest with you, I'm so hesitant on how I approach this and how I speak on this, because like I said, this is still my real life. And it's still funny when people come up to me and they start talking about what I've talked about on podcasts, because sometimes I'm just like, can you stop? Like, tread lightly. Like I'm willing to share, but I'm always just like, tread lightly, because it's still my real life. Right? But anyway, in that moment, in that moment, a lot was revealed to me, and it was just like, I realized I had different, I realized, like, I feel like I had checked something off of my box at that point, as far as I always say I never care about, like, whether I'm accepted or not, or wanted to be respected by my peers. Like, I always say that, but it's like, you do want to be, on a certain level, you do want to be accepted, or not even accepted, respected by your peers, right? That's what's more important to me. So it was like, it was affirming to me that, wow, like, okay, you've kind of been doing this, and you've kind of gained the respect of your peers doing it your way. Like, I was always okay with being isolated if I had to be isolated. Like, I was okay with that. But like I said, at the end of the day, you still want to be, in whatever it is that you do, you want to be respected in the field that you are. And I don't know, at that moment, I felt like, wow, like, the time and the work is definitely starting to pay off. And it was just a moment for me. It was a moment for me. And while I was on that high of, of all of that, it was just like real life. Real life was on the other side, right? I think I said in a song with Surge, shout out Surge. I said in a song, I was like talking to him in a verse, and I said, "Be careful how you be careful how you seem. Be careful how you choose to move. It seems to always trail you." Right? Your choices, your decisions, they have a way of following you, right? And that's cool. But like I said, in that moment of everything, I felt like in that moment of everything, there was somebody there. Let's put it this way. There was somebody there that meant a lot to me. And I didn't realize how much that person meant to me until I seen them there, right? And I realized that part of me was working so hard actually just to not to get their attention, but I always felt like how do I say this? I want to put this the right way. Part of me didn't, like, subconsciously, part of me seen how it was supposed to end, in the sense of I was supposed to do what I do, become successful, and then things would have worked out, or whatever the case may be with this person. And it's like that wasn't the reality of it. But in that moment, it made me realize I never, and I was explaining this to a good friend of mine, Jean, I learned from a young age to curb expectations. So I never have, I don't have too many expectations for people. Like, I don't care who comes out to see my shows. I don't care if you never, like, it's like different things don't bother me. Like, if my parents were to attend a high school game, I would probably be mad versus being happy. Like, I don't like that type of attention, right? But in that moment, I was like, wow, like, I didn't even know there was a void there. Like, but seeing that person there, for me, it was like, wow, I wanted you there. Like, it was almost like subconsciously, like, I've been working so hard to do what I do and everything. And it's cool what I've been doing and everything, but like nothing really, it didn't really hold any weight until you were there. And I don't want to say validation, but like it's just like if I wanted anybody in the world to be proud of me, it was that person, right? If it was anybody in this world to be proud of me, it was that person. And I'm gonna give y'all a heads up right now. This 22-minute podcast is not about to be 22 minutes. Well, although I am gonna have to kind of try to speed it up because of video, but because I might not be able to go that long. But in that moment, like, I realized that like that was very important to me, and I didn't know that. That's what was scary to me. That's what like kind of shook my world, is I didn't realize that until I was in that moment. I didn't realize I value that person's presence that much. I didn't realize that was like a check off for me until it checked off for me, right? Until it was like, yo, I'm kind of, people deem their success in different ways, and it's just like, for me, I was just kind of like, listen, I've got to a point where it's like, you've got to at least respect what I'm doing. You don't got to like it, but you got to respect what I'm doing. So it's like I felt like I was in a place where it's like, okay, I'm being respected for what I'm actually doing. And I'm like, wow, like I always thought it was corny when people were like, I don't knock nobody in their relationships and everything, but like I always thought it was corny when it's like when somebody needed somebody to be there for validation. I never understood that feeling until that night. And so that was interesting to me, but what kind of I don't want to say messed me up, but so it was a humbling feeling that night to be on the high of that, but then to almost simultaneously crash on the other side of like real life, because it was just like that part of it, I don't say it was a mess, but that part of it was just, it's complicated, right? And like I said, I know I speak, sometimes I say too much. So it's just, I don't want to talk out of turn. Like I said, I don't want to talk out of turn. But just me and my perspective, and if this helps anybody, I don't know. I just, maybe it just to help me, maybe I just have to share. But yeah, nonetheless, it's a complicated situation. So here I am coming off on one of the biggest highs of like finally like, okay, check. Okay, that person's there, check. Like, and I almost like, and again, like, I don't want to say that I'm validated by that moment. Like, of course, all of the things, glory to God, like, that's why I do it at the end of the day. So it's just like, that was just kind of like icing on the cake to me, right? My work needs not be validated by anybody. Like I said, that was just a blessing to me as far as like being an icing on the cake, type of thing, to be able to experience that. But it shed a light on how, I don't know, I just feel like God was just showing me how I am far from perfect. Far from perfect. Right? And I've always been interested on on the concept of relationship, because especially the relationship between a man and a woman, the dynamic of two people coexisting together, right? And through all of this, it's like I start to realize why, part of the reasons why it's easier for me to run alone than it is, not even relationship wise, but even friends wise, why I try to keep my circle so small, but the more people you interact with, for the longer that you interact with them, they reveal your flaws, right? And and this is all subconsciously. This is just me realizing it now. Like, and I start to realize like, that's why I get to points where with some people where it's just like, yo, I don't even want to. I don't let people get too close, and maybe it's because I know, like, yo, I'm screwed up. I'm screwed up. I am not perfect. I know I am not perfect by any means, like a far stretch from it. And it's just like, I feel like sometimes I keep people at so far of an arm's distance because I don't want to deal with my, I don't want to say screwed upness, but like my drama in a sense of, like I said, we all have our things, if it's being impatient, if it's being this or that, like whatever it is. But like, I try to keep being moody, I try to keep people far enough so they don't have to experience that with me, and keeping them far enough makes me not have to deal with that. Right? So I'm making all of these revelations, like all of this is being like revealed to me, and I'm just like, wow, like I got so, like, look how far I've come, but like I've still got so much farther to go. Right? I've still got so much farther to go. And even with that particular circumstance with that person, I don't even know how to speak on it because we've not really, I've tried, you see, I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong thing. Right? That situation has gotten so sensitive that it's just like, at times I feel like when I voice my opinions, it's me being selfish. It's me being selfish. Like, I even spoke to Jean, and we were talking, and I was saying what bothers me the most is I don't like leaving situations unattended. Like, if something could be fixed, if it's about a conversation, like, let's clear the air, like. But he said something and it hit me. And he said, but isn't that just you wanting to be in control? You just want it to go your way. Like, you have to, like, because part of the reason why I started rapping and everything is because I'm just like, people are so scared to say what they want to say. I was just like, yo, I'm going to say it. Like, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. So, like, my whole foundation post high school has been I vowed to myself to, in real life and in the music, to be as blatant as I can. And I know it's going to offend some people, and I know it's going to put some people in their feelings, and I know it's going to upset some people, but I want you to feel a way. Like, right? I want you to feel, if it's going to make you mad, let it make you mad. And then what? Then what do you do from there? If it makes you happy, then let it make you happy. Then what do you do from there? But, like, let's not cheat ourselves of that experience. Let's not cheat ourselves of pain, because that pain actually helps us grow, right? Let's not cheat ourselves from any of the experiences, right? So it's just like, So with that being said, when he said that, though, I realized part of that is probably true, in a sense of me wanting to be, me saying I want everything to be, like, I want anybody I come in contact with, I want to be, not even just, whether it's good terms or not, I want the conversations to happen. And I realized that he was, after a while, I realized, not in that moment, but like a day or two, I'm just like, you know what? There's a level of that is selfish. And that rocked me. Like, that rocked me. I'm just like, how, though? Like, how? Like, my whole the last time my foundation has been shifted like this was high school. Like, the reality of real world, right? So now it's like I've subconsciously built these other sets of principles post high school, and it's just like these things are crumbling down. Right? The other night was the closest thing. The other night, in a weird way, was success for me, in a sense of, like, almost to the sense of, like, somebody, like a typical rapper wanting to go platinum and performing at Madison Square Garden. In that small, humble venue, with that person there, that was it for me. And I didn't know, and I'm so shocked because I didn't know that I wanted that. But that was that for me in that moment. Right? And just to come from that, and then to come from that, which is like, I really didn't know, like, to come from that, which is was like peak, and then to just get flung down to reality of like, bro, you're not even close to who you need to be. It's so humbling. It's so humbling. Like, it's just like, yo, you still got so much work to do on yourself as a person. Like, even in your attempts to be so real and share and this and that, those words may have caused somebody to move in a way that you didn't even intend them to move. Your words, my words, are responsible for other people's actions based off what I said and what was coming from good intentions, what was coming from, okay, I want to share to help others, to help myself, just to like to let it out. But it's just like, you don't know how your words negatively or positively affected somebody. Like, as much as it could have affected people positively, it's like it could have affected somebody negatively. And that to me is just like, wow, I didn't even see it. Like I'm telling you, like, this is equivalent to the moment that I graduated high school and my whole foundation was shifted. Like, I feel like I'm me at 27 is like talking to the 16-year-old that thought he had it all figured out. And I just look at him, I'm just like, wait till you get to 21, my G. Like, and it's just like, that's like what the world, I feel like what just happened to me, what the world did to me. Like, I feel like at 27, it was just like, young one. You thought you knew. You thought you had it figured out. You thought you was on your way. And it just, it like crushed my world. It crushed my world. Humbling. Very humbling. So it's just like, I say all of this to say, it's not your right to have that conversation. Nobody owes you a conversation. Right? And that's a tough concept for me to swallow, but that's the truth. Nobody owes you a conversation. Right? And again, I think I touched on this last week, but who you are, you can't blame yourself. I think I said this on IG, but you can't blame yourself. You can't right now sit and blame and try to blame who you are today for what you did in the past, because what you did in the past has motivated you to become who you are today. Right? So you can't have one without the other. At the same time, those not even the consequences, the realities of the effects of who you were and the choices you made still exist. They still exist. Whether you impacted somebody positively or negatively, it still exists. And you still have to suffer those consequences. So I feel like here I am at a point where, and again, I'm trying to speak on this with the most respect for the situation. It's not even a situation. I hate making it into, it's not that, but it just gets interesting. Like I said, nobody owes you anything, and you have to understand that everybody's entitled to feel how they feel. And what's crazy is I wish I could be like, I didn't get it, but I completely get it. Right? It's like my choices, my actions have consequences. You can either suffer the consequences or you can rejoice in the consequences. The consequences are just merely a result of whatever it is that you did, right? Negative or positive. Although I might not be using the word consequence in the right thing. Might have to look at the definition for that. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is when it's time to lie in the bed that you made, lie in it. You made that bed a long time ago. So for me, I had to sip a lot of humble juice and take a nap right in that bed. Because whether or not, like I said, with the knowledge I know today, I can't sit and try to bash who I was. But at the end of the day, I was who I was and I did what I did. And that comes with consequences. I was who I was. And it comes with, like I said, it comes with consequences. So I got to walk out however that turns out. I got to do that. I got to take that. I don't hold it against, I don't hold nothing against nobody. I'm not owed anything. I take full responsibility. And it's just like, I say this for the I don't say the young kids. I say this for anybody, man. Like, just be aware of what you're doing, man. It's just be aware of what you're doing. And I'm saying this as if it's some sort of action that was taking place or whatever. It's not even that. It's not even that. Like, you don't understand how your words may affect somebody. You don't understand how, like, it's a lot to it. It's a lot to it. And I'm the first to say I wasn't the nicest of people, but I knew what I knew. I knew what I knew. And that's not me making excuses. That's reality of situation. And like I said, so I guess all in all, to try to wrap this up and make everything make sense, what I wanted to, how I thought it was going to go, how I thought it would happen, how I thought, like, if we ever got to that moment, like, this, it'll be good. Like, I thought, I'll be honest with you, I thought me being successful would take away any negative from any situation. I thought I don't know how I thought that would work. Like I said, this was not on a conscious level. This was all subconsciously. But I thought on some type of level that me proving myself and busting my butt and making something of myself would wipe away everything that I've done. Right? So like I said, this is the most humbling thing ever. So it's just like, to get to that point, and it's like, no, the total opposite of, like, it's like when you realize you graduate high school, like, you think that you want the high school diploma, you graduate high school, and you realize, like, you got to keep going. It doesn't stop here. For some weird reason, I thought, like, once I'm successful, it wipes, like, there's nothing beyond that. I didn't think beyond that. Like, once I'm successful, and this is the weirdest thing, I would have thought success looked different, in the sense of, I thought that I would feel this feeling of success with being on the radio and platinum records and going to concerts, selling out shows, such and such. No, like I truly feel like, and this is so weird to explain, but I truly feel in that moment, in that small venue with that one person, like that was the moment. I can almost say, I can almost comfortably say like, okay, that was it. I don't got to rap no more. I can almost say, like, it's in the weirdest way. If I wasn't rapping for a bigger purpose, in the weirdest way, if I was rapping just for the feeling of wanting to be successful, I did that. Last week was that for me. In a sense, I hate saying like I peaked or anything, but like that was my moment. I'm not gonna cheat that moment. You gotta understand that for me. Like, you gotta understand that. Like, and again, like I said, I never thought it would look like that. I thought it was supposed to look bigger. I thought it was supposed to look flashier. But in that, and I thank God for the quiet mind to be able to appreciate that moment. Like, that was it for me. Like, that moment was that for me. That was Grammy for me. I'm not saying I'm still not driven, I'm still not this, I'm still not that, but that moment was the equivalent to that for me. I don't know why. I don't understand why. I really don't. Like, it was just the culmination of so many things at that moment, and it was just like that small little moment was that for me. Right? So it's just like, I feel it's just another path. It's just, I realize I'm on another, I don't want to say another path, but it's another chapter. And it's just like, I'm curious to see how God continues to grow me and reveal to me my flaws and correct my flaws. But that was like literally like that was the moment I was looking for and I didn't know. That was the moment I was looking for. And like I said, it had a crazy positive, and it's crazy how people always say like, be careful what you wish for, because every time wherever there's a high, it's a low coming. So it's just like, I can almost, like, it was almost like tough for me. The only reason why I got through those moments is because of every time I would get down, I would take comfort in the fact of like, wow, but I just accomplished this. But then every time I try to get too high, that joint cut me right down. It humbled me. It kept me so level. And it was just like, I almost couldn't appreciate both sides of it. But like I said, I was blessed to be able to like realize and sit in the moment and be like, you know what? Suffer on this side, like hurt on this side, like mourn on this side, like it's okay. And then on this side, celebrate, be happy, be excited, enjoy what you've accomplished. And that was the realest thing for me to have to like experience both of those crazy emotions at the same time. And then to start to realize, I think to realize, like, you come out of school, me at least, so super driven and almost blinded by ambition. And in that moment, it was like, I guess in that moment, this is the first time in life, I don't say the first time in life, but this is the first time in a long time I've ever felt like, wow, I might not actually get what I want. I've always felt like, and this is not trying to be pride or this or that, but I've always felt like whatever it is that I set my mind to and lock my mind into, I will get, right? Or along the way, it'll be revealed to me and I'll realize that it wasn't really something that I truly wanted. And then I'm okay with that because I realize, like, you know what? I'm not putting in the work for it, or I'm not doing enough for this, or whatever the case may be, and I'm okay with that. This is for the first time. I don't want to say the first time, but like for the first time in a long time. I keep saying the first time, but for a long time, I'm at a point where I'm like, wow, like subconsciously, I always thought it would come around, and by the time I felt this feeling, everything on that side would have worked itself out, but that's not what happened. So now I have to live in the reality of what's actually taking place, and to be in a position where you just feel so helpless, where you feel like anything you say can and will be used against you. Like, it's just like, and I'm not laughing at the situation, but I'm just being real. Like, it's like where you didn't fully understand the impact. Who does of you? You didn't understand the impact of you, and it's just like to not be given an opportunity to speak on or have a conversation, which is completely fine because like I said, I'm not owed anything. And it took me a long time to get to this place. Like, it's times where I just wanted to force conversation and I'm not gonna lie, it's times I try to force and just jump right into conversation. But at the end of the day, I had to realize and humble myself and be like, you know what? If you don't feel that's what you want to do, or you don't feel like that's an opportunity you choose to give me, then that's not an opportunity you have to give me. If I've got to carry this for the rest of my life, this is one thing I've never ever wanted to do. But like, if I've got to carry that, then I've got to carry that. That's not my choice, right? That's not my choice, because there's times that I put people in that same position. And it's like, I don't know what anybody's going through on the back end. I don't know what life is looking like. I don't know what it is. So it's just like, I've got to respect your decision for the mere fact that I've got to respect your decision. Not even because I want somebody to respect my decision down the line. I've got to respect your decision because it's the right thing to do, right? It's not what I want to do. Absolutely not. But it's the right thing to do. So as long as God continues to give me the grace to be able to do that and sustain me through, that's what I'm going to do. But be careful how you choose to move. It seems to always trail you. Realest thing. And I think there was something. It was something else I was going to talk about, but I think that's enough. I think it was off of this topic, but I think that's enough though. I just want people to really digest on that. Like I said, if I could spare anyone, it doesn't even have to be this situation that they're going through or whatever the case may be. But if anyone could take anything from this, I've at the very least not gone through it. And at the end of the day, I wouldn't have gone through it in vain, because I'm learning from it. I'm learning about myself. I'm learning about how life can really be. And what I really am at the end of the day I'm impressed about, and this is all through the grace of God, is how I'm actually stomaching this. Because I'm known to throw fits. Not throw fits, but just like I just see myself, I'm just carrying this. I have this peace. I have peace. I just have peace. I have a peace. And it's just, I would wish that and pray that on everybody. That is like, I told myself the other day, literally, I was just like, you know what? I don't want to be happy. I want peace. because happy is come and go, right? But if you could have peace on a situation, like what's there to be happy about if you owe $50,000? There's nothing to be happy about. But if you have peace and it's just like, yeah, you owe 50, but they're not stressed. You have peace, like you can make it through. Like that's what I want. Like I want peace, and the level of peace that I've got, that I've just had in these moments of clarity, I've been super thankful for. That doesn't mean it eliminated the pain or the suffering or the, like, it didn't eliminate any of those real emotions. I can't explain it. I really can't explain it. So yeah. I don't even have any closing remarks. Here we go. Take what you want from it. And I will continue to to the best of my abilities to lay my life on the line for y'all as a sacrifice, as a guide, so that y'all can learn and that I might be of whatever assistance that I can. I will continue to try to push myself to be transparent with situations that I go through. And this is one of the reasons why I like these talks, is because I can't get all of that out in music. I get that out in parts. And it's like for the longest time, it's like I've been getting stories out in parts. And I'm just like, there's more to the situation. And I can't divulge for 52 minutes on a track and try to rhyme creatively to get off what I want to get off. But if this has been of assistance to anybody, I'm grateful.